All right, so let's go ahead and discuss some of our division strategies that we use in class. The first one that we're going to talk about is partial quotients, which I also call magic 7 because of the shape that we put our numbers in when we divide. So let's go ahead and take a look at our problem here. We have 3,669 divided by 3. I went ahead and labeled the parts of my equation so that I know what numbers I'm dealing with. My 3,669 is my dividend, which is the number that is going to be divided. And my 3 is the divisor, or the number that is doing the dividing. So with this problem, we want our dividend to be divided into 3 equal groups if possible. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and set up our division problem in what kind of starts out to look like standard algorithm or long division. So we're going to go ahead and make our little house, as I call it. Put our dividend on the inside and our divisor on the outside. And now we're going to make our big magical 7. So what we have here is our division problem all set up. Now, a strategy that kids have used in the past and in 3rd grade in particular is repeated subtraction when they're trying to divide, which would work. That's when you over and over again subtract your divisor from your dividend until you are no longer able to subtract. And this would give them their quotient. But using big numbers like this in 4th grade makes it a little bit difficult to do that because they would be sitting there forever. So partial quotients is a way to speed up that process by using groups of the divisor instead of just a single divisor. So the first thing that we do when we have our problem like this is we want to see what we can multiply our 3 by to get as close to our dividend as possible. So I've made a list of friendly numbers over here, or numbers that are easy for our students to multiply by. So we have 1,000, 100, 10, 5, and 1. We want to see which of these will get us as close to our dividend as possible. So looking at our numbers that we have here, we could do 1, 5, 10, and even 100, and they would get us somewhat closer to our dividend, but we want to see if we can use the biggest number possible first. So we're going to start with 1,000. Now I'm going to see 1,000 times 3 gives me 3,000. That is less than our dividend, so I can use that number. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 1,000, I'm going to write it on the side so that I remember in this part of my solving, I used 1,000 groups of 3. Now I'm going to take those 1,000 groups of 3 and I'm going to subtract them from my dividend. So I have 1,000 times 3, which gives me 3,000. And I'm going to go ahead and subtract because I'm taking away those groups of 3 from our number. Excuse me. So I will be left over with 669. And now I'm going to repeat the same process. I want to find a friendly multiple that I can use to get as close to my dividend as possible. So looking at our friendly numbers here, I can't use 1,000 because 1,000 will be too big of a number for our dividend, but I can use 100. So I'm going to write 100 on the side here. Now I'm going to do 100 times 3, which gives me 300. And just like before, I'm going to subtract, which will give us 369. And I'm going to repeat the process again and again until I can no longer subtract. So I used 100 groups of 3 in the last part, and I can use that again because 300 is still less than 369. So I'm going to put 100 on the side here, and I'm going to subtract 300 again, which will leave me with 69. Oops. And I'm back to finding a friendly multiple. So we can't use 100 because 300 is too large for our number. So we're going to move down to our 10. So I'm going to put 10 on the side here. And 10 times 3 gives me 30. And I'll be left over with 39. Once again, I can use 10 because 30 is less than 39. So I have 39 minus 30, which will leave me with 9. And now I'm going to move just over here so that we can still see. So I have 9. And I need to figure out what I can subtract from it, or what I can subtract from it to get, or what, oh my lord. We need to figure out what we can multiply to get as close to this dividend as possible. So 10 is too big because 30 is greater than 9. So we move down to 5. 5 times 3 would give us 15. 15 is too large because it's greater than 9. So we're going to use 1. So I have 1 on the side here. 1 times 3 gives me 3. And I'll be left with 6. I can once again do 1 because 3 is still less than 6. Now we have 6 minus 3, which leaves me with 3. And 3 is the same as 3, so I can still use a multiple of 1. And I'm left with 0. So now I can stop because I can no longer subtract anything else. So what I do at this point to find my full quotient, because these are partial quotients over here, I'm going to add all of my partial quotients together. So I have 1,000 plus 100 plus 100 is 1,200, plus 10 is 1,220, plus 3 is 1,223. Now this should be the quotient that we need for. And that has been Math Corner with Miss Perry. I hope that I have been of some assistance, and I hope that you reach out if you do need more help. See you later.